Making news now. Massive budget cuts are requested for the SIU Carbondale campus. We'll bring you the latest. Southern Illinois coal miners hope a move by President Trump will improve the future of mining. And yet another Republican lawmaker finds himself drawn into the controversy over Russia. Live from Southern Illinois University, this is River Region Evening Edition. We begin with breaking news. Southern Illinois University President Randy Dunn is calling for deep cuts to the Carbondale campus budget. Good evening, I'm Zach Barrett.
And I'm Michelle Zelli. Dunn says the Carbondale campus must identify a minimum of $30 million that could be cut from the future budget effective July 1st. In addition to the proposed cuts, money from SIU Edwardsville and the School of Medicine will be used in order to cover the operating costs of SIU Carbondale. In an email to SIU workers, Dunn said he would present his proposal to the SIU Board of Trustees at their April meeting. He also says he will ask the trustees to declare a short-term financial emergency on the Carbondale campus. And moments ago, SIUC Chancellor Brad Caldwell added more detail to Dunn's message. Caldwell says layoffs in Carbondale are almost a certainty, but says the numbers aren't yet known. He says cuts will also be made to university travel and student worker positions. You can read what Caldwell and Dunn announced today on our Facebook page, facebook.com/RiverRegionNews.
Internet privacy in the United States is about to get a little less private. The House of Representatives has voted to repeal internet privacy protections, which were approved by the FCC in the final days of the Obama presidency. The protections, which require companies to tell their customers if they've been hacked, were voted down by the Senate last week. The resolution now heads to the president for final approval. And one DuQuoin brewery is getting ready for the eclipse by releasing a limited edition beer. The St. Nicholas Brewing Company has released a new beer called Eclipse in order to celebrate the upcoming solar eclipse. The beer will be available until August 21st, which is also the date of the solar eclipse. And a woman is dead in a fire in West Frankfort. The Franklin County coroner says 59-year-old Gabe Vaughn was found inside the house by firefighters but could not be revived. The fire was reported just before 9 p.m. last night. The Illinois State Fire Marshal's office is currently investigating the cause of the fire.
We saw some on-again, off-again showers today in the River Region.
Yeah, Michelle, I missed the sun.
Me too.
Devin Fleckinger is here to give us our first look at weather.
That's right. Tonight it's going to be 60 degrees. It'll remain 60 degrees by morning with slight showers, and by midday it's going to warm up to 67 degrees, but still a little bit of rain. We could see some showers along the way, and we could also see a warm up. I'll have more coming up for you later in my forecast.
St. Louis police are investigating an overtime pay scam in their own department. 4 officers are suspended without pay while they are investigated for claiming overtime that they did not work. The amount of overtime pay has not yet been released, but investigators say charges are likely to be filed against the officers. The legal dispute over paying lawmakers during the budget fight is back in court. The Illinois Comptroller has filed an appeal over a Cook County judge's ruling that state lawmakers must be paid. Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan filed the appeal on Tuesday on behalf of the Illinois Comptroller Susana Mendoza. Mendoza believes that payment should be prioritized for the most vulnerable instead of lawmaker paychecks.
Peach farmers in Alto Pass say their peaches will survive the spring. Farmers have dealt with freezing temperatures all spring, but the fruit survived despite an abnormally cold February, although many of the trees did not fully bloom due to the weather.
Illinois taxpayers have paid about $2 million in bonuses to a company that the state is working to replace. Retention bonuses were given to employees of North Star Lottery Group. The group has run the Illinois Lottery since 2015. In order to break the contract, the state had to meet certain conditions, which included the bonuses. Some of the bonuses were upwards of 60% of employee salaries.
Residents of a Chicago neighborhood are looking for answers after a federal agent shot and wounded a man in a raid. 53-year-old Felix Torres was shot and wounded in the arm after agents of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency served a warrant. ICE agents said that Torres pointed a gun at them, which forced them to fire, a claim that his family denies.
I am totally against the police officers in any branch not respecting the rights of the people. And this is what has happened here.
ICE agents would not elaborate as to why they were at Torres's home. Torres is currently recovering at a local hospital.
A car crashed into a police cruiser at the U.S. Capitol.
And Britain takes another step to leave the European Union. You're watching Evening Edition.
Today, the government acts on the democratic will of the British people, and it acts too on the clear and convincing position of this House. A few minutes ago in Brussels, the United Kingdom's permanent representative to the EU handed a letter to the President of the European Council on my behalf.
British Prime Minister Theresa May formally invoked Article 50 earlier this morning, thus triggering the official start of Brexit. May told the British House of Commons that by invoking Article 50, they are carrying out the will of the British people. However, some in the European Union have a different opinion.
There is no reason to pretend that this is a happy day, neither in Brussels nor in London. After all, most Europeans, including almost half the British voters, wish that we would stay together, not drift apart.
Donald Tusk went on to compare the Brexit talks to damage control. Negotiations will now begin in earnest as the UK now has 2 years before it formally leaves the European Union.
The early morning calm in Washington, D.C. was disturbed when a woman crashed into a police cruiser near the Capitol building. Police say that the woman was driving erratically and aggressively before driving her car into the police cruiser. The woman then made a U-turn in an attempt to flee the police.
Although preliminary, this incident appears to be criminal in nature with no nexus to terrorism. And in addition, the Capitol complex remains open to the public except for traffic cuts here on Independence Avenue.
After a short chase, the police were able to apprehend the woman with no injuries reported. This incident comes 1 week after a similar incident in London, which caused the death of 5 people.
Another Republican lawmaker has been publicly questioned as to whether he can provide an unbiased investigation into the White House's Russian connections. U.S. Representative and Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes, is facing calls from Democrats and at least one Republican to recuse himself from the House Intelligence Committee's Russian investigation. The calls come as all of the meetings scheduled for the committee this week have been canceled or postponed.
Ordinarily, we have on the first day of the week a kind of review meeting to conduct oversight over this and that. We were to have a meeting tomorrow. We've just been completely frozen, and so a lot of us, without any information from the chairman, are wondering why have the investigation and the committee been put on ice.
Nunes has come out and said that the committee will continue the investigation, but only after a private meeting with the head of the NSA and FBI director, which as of now remains unscheduled.
After a number of grueling sessions in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, a vote has been scheduled to confirm Neil Gorsuch as a member of the U.S. Supreme Court. The vote is scheduled to occur on April 7th. However, Gorsuch still has to make it past a vote of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senate Republicans say they are confident that despite the threat of filibustering by Senate Democrats, Gorsuch will be approved by the Judiciary Committee before the time for the vote comes along.
A federal court in Hawaii has heard arguments over whether to overturn a temporary order that blocks Donald Trump's second travel ban. Supporters and opponents were once again in U.S. District Judge Derek Watson's courtroom, arguing over whether Watson should overturn his ruling against the revised travel ban. Judge Derek Watson initially ruled against the revised travel ban 2 weeks ago. Legal experts say that it is unlikely Watson will side with the Trump administration.
Tech giant Samsung is hoping that the failure of its Galaxy Note 7 phone will not hang over the launch of its new phones. Samsung unveiled its newest phone, the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, showing in New York earlier today. The S8 and the Plus have curved screens as well as Samsung's new virtual assistant named Bixby. Pre-orders for the phones will begin tomorrow and shipping starts on April 21st.
Bob Dylan will finally be awarded his Nobel Prize in a ceremony this weekend. Dylan, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature, was scheduled to receive the Nobel on December 10th. Dylan was unable to make it to the December ceremony due to prior commitments. He will receive his prize in a private meeting with members of the Swedish Academy.
The funeral for well-known singer George Michael took place earlier today. Michael's funeral was held at the Highgate Cemetery in northern London and was attended by the singer's family and close friends. Michael was found dead at his country home on December 25th. A post-mortem investigation found that the singer died of natural causes. Michael's family thanked fans for their messages of support.
The sun hasn't made too many appearances lately. Devin Flickinger will have our weather after the break.
And the S&P 500 and NASDAQ finished up today, while the Dow Jones finished down. Find out more on that on the Nightly Business Report tonight at 5:30. That's very impressive, Michael. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are thunderstorms on their way? Devin has the forecast next.
And Crayola is doing something that it hasn't done in a century. Find out what next. President Donald Trump signed a new executive order in hopes of reviving the coal industry. Evening Edition reporter Signe Kessler spoke with workers to see what the future with coal will look like.
I believe that part of the people, they will get their jobs back, they will rehire people.
President Trump has signed an executive order to abolish former President Obama's climate change efforts, hoping to revive the coal industry.
It doesn't mean that, okay, we have the new executive order, then I can do nothing. I can just keep the status quo. No, we have to do something.
Now leaders in the coal industry are looking towards the future.
This new executive order will help us because we'll have more coal production. But on the other hand, we have to be pretty creative.
That creativity stemming from technology that officials hope will help give coal a cleaner and more effective use.
So what do we do now that we have these new executive orders in place, but we don't have the right technology yet? It's not.
We have to find them.
While this coal plant here on SAU's campus will not see a change from Trump's new executive order, experts say other Southern Illinois coal industries will feel the impact.
If the rules hadn't changed a little bit on coal, it was heading for big trouble.
We have to actually apply for the new technologies. We have to search for the new technologies. Environmental people will be happy, ordinary people will be happy, and consumers will be happy, and workers will be happy.
So while an executive order is now in place to give new life to the coal industry, Woltowski hopes the coal industry won't take away the future he hopes his grandkids will have.
They will still have access to oil, they will still have access to coal or natural gas. So I cannot pump or mine coal like crazy, That's the sustainability. I have to always think about the next generation, what I'm leaving for them.
For River Region Evening Edition, I'm Signe Kessler.
So far, no exact plans have been announced by any coal companies. We will continue to keep you updated as the effects of this new executive order begin to roll out.
We saw a little bit of showers today. Is that what we see for the rest of the week, Devin?
We do, yeah. There's going to be a few showers. Tomorrow, there's going to be thunderstorms, 67 degrees. By Friday, it's going to cool up, and 55 degrees. And then Saturday is going to warm back up to 63. And then Sunday, you're going to see those showers again, and it's going to be 70 degrees. So
Saturday is that day that we're looking for, where we can find some warmer temperatures with no rain.
Definitely, you can get outside and experience the warm weather.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're going to see that spring humidity, though.
Definitely. So watch out for the stickiness. But it comes with the territory.
Well, thank you, Devin.
You're welcome.
And thank you for joining us tonight. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at River Region News. Our webpage is riverregionnews.wordpress.com. I'm Michelle Zelli.
And I'm Zach Barrett. For Devin Fleckinger, Michelle Zelli, and Michael Nelson, and all the students who work here at Evening Edition, have a great night.